It's always great to get a win, no matter who you're playing. Certainly pleased we held them to 56 points. There's obviously some things we can still do better, but it was a quick turnaround, flying back yesterday. But certainly just proud of our team effort. We got a lot of guys some good minutes and certainly did some good things.
Dustin, coming out of the Michigan game, what were the things, let's say the bigger things that you wanted to see from the team tonight, and how did they do relative to your expectations?
Yeah, I think I want to put a little bit more of a complete game together defensively. Up there we once things settled down, we held them scoreless for 8 minutes straight, and it was very good defense. Really challenged them to put a little complete game together there. Really wanted to clean up rebounding, which I don't think we did. I was a little disappointed, obviously, with how many, rebounds Ferrum got, especially from the offensive glass. That's something that we've got to continue to clean up. But I thought, really contesting and affecting shots. We forced 38 threes, which is good. And they were a team that could really shoot the ball, but we certainly affected their shots.
You shot 42 free throws tonight. Probably would have liked a little bit of a higher percentage of makes there, but would you say that that's a trait of your offense that you would want to see? Is that normal to push that many through?
Sure. I mean, that's a great number. Obviously, like you said, we gotta relax and get more down. But we got some good athletic guards that can really attack downhill, and we want to play in attack mode. And so I always talk to our guys about drive it, don't dribble it, drive it, pass it or shoot it, but don't hold it. Move the ball and drive it, get the defense in a long close, and go from there. We just were fortunate that when we were driving the ball, they were fouling us. Certainly that's not going to be the case every time, but we did do a good job of drawing fouls. I mean, we did. That's been consistent with us. And so we've just got to do a better job of stepping up making some free throws.
Justin played really well on Tuesday night, also the team's scoring tonight. As a team, or as a returning leading scorer from last year, what do you think we can expect to see from him as the season goes?
Yeah, I hope to see a little bit more of a positive assist-turnover ratio, which he did not have again tonight. And so that's something that really challenging him to do, be a bit more of a playmaker. We know he can score the ball, but we've got to move the ball, and he's got to take care of the ball a little bit better. He can't just – if he can become a little bit more of a playmaker, it's going to open more stuff up for him to allow him to score more. And so continue to challenge him to be a complete player and be a little bit more of a playmaker, which we need him to do. He's a natural scorer. He's a natural scorer, which is great. He does a phenomenal job of getting fouled. However, he's got to start doing a phenomenal job of getting his teammates involved, and then he can get the ball back throughout the possession. We've got to move the ball better.
Did you see him tonight, though? I mean, there were a few times where he did, exactly what you said. He drove the ball, drew the defense, and then kicked out to some open shots in the corner. Shots weren't going down. But, I mean, as you go back and break down film, is that the kind of thing you'll go back and say, yeah, technically not an assist on the stat sheet, but that's the kind of play you're looking for from him?
Probably so, and I remember some of those plays you're talking about, and I remember him hitting Hunter on the roll, and they called it an offensive foul on Hunter, and so he was making those plays. Those are the plays we need to continue to make. That's going to really spread it out and help our offense. So going back and looking, he might have done it a little bit more than I feel like based off the numbers, but it'll be interesting to see. But yeah, I would agree with that. I think I do remember some of those instances. We've just got to complete the play.
He mentioned that his role has sort of changed a little bit.
Isaac?
Played more from the perimeter. Isaac,
yeah.
Played more, starting from the perimeter instead of inside. What do you see in him? What attributes that are kind of prompting that?
Well, I think he's got great versatility, and I think he can be really. He's been one of our most consistent shooters. And I think when you've got a big that can step out and shoot the ball and stretch the floor and gets the big away from the basket defensively for them, it really opens the lane up for our other players to drive and get the lane. So we play a positionless offense, so he's going to 4 of the 5 spots are interchangeable. I want him to bring the rebound some in transition, which he's allowed to do. Which he did tonight. I think he's a very good passer. And so I really want to use his passing on the perimeter, his shooting on the perimeter, but also want to stretch that defense out. If we put him on the block all the time, which we've done some, we did it the other night, we did it a few times tonight, we will utilize him both inside and out. But I just think he's a versatile player, and I think that he's got some strengths that we need to continue to utilize there on the perimeter.
Donovan had a kind of quietly almost snuck in a double-double on us here, 10 points, 8 rebounds. You know, talk a little bit about the progression of not just Donovan as a freshman, but, you know, Kendall's been getting some minutes. You know, how are those guys coming along, and, you know, how quickly can you force feed? I'm sure it's different with every guy.
Sure. Well, great question. I think, you know, obviously experience is the best teacher. And so, you know, it was important tonight to hopefully get Donovan just a lot more minutes. Kendall, the other night, really just found his way into when we were really clicking in rhythm and really earned, he really made some great plays. And the experience will allow these guys to kind of grow up quick, and we need them to grow up quick. They're good players. They bring some things to the table, but 10 and 8 from Donovan, you know, certainly, you know, 4 assists from Kendall Lewis is very encouraging. And, you know, I think Kendall they both bring some things on the other end too. They're both big guards that affect shots at the rim. Kendall had a couple key blocks the other night. I know he had one tonight. Donovan's a bigger guard that obviously can rebound, 8 rebounds. And so it's not just the offensive part. I feel like they can really bring some things defensively too.
Asking the guys about just kind of how much freedom they have to shoot threes and like where in the shot clock they have to shoot threes. They were saying that a lot of it's dependent on just kind of the paint touches that they're getting. I think that's the word I would use, paint touches. Like, does it have to start, like, do you feel like it has to start inside and go out for you guys? Or like, I guess where's the mix there of?
Yeah, I think it's in the game of basketball, I think it's really difficult to always play in absolutes. However, I like the ball before we get a 3 to hit that paint. And so down the defensive collapse, I just think for us to get the best open 3, to get now the defense into a long closeout, play to one more, maybe drive that one, we're going to get a more cleaner open look after the ball hits the paint. I think if the ball doesn't hit the paint and it's going around the perimeter, we're not going to get as good of a shot. But I don't. It's not an absolute because I think that's difficult. I really want them to have some freedom in play and not think so much. But if we can, I do like the ball to touch the paint before we get a 3.
A lot of the local people around are kind of excited about the opportunity that you're giving Brian Green.
Yeah.
Can you speak to his development and where he's at and what his role might be this year?
Well, yeah, he's a preferred walk-on. His role was, really in practice to help our guys prepare, and he's done a great job with it. He's a high-character guy. He's a great teammate. But when I got hired, I went over and visited with him and his family and extended the invitation to be part of this role, and I was very clear about it. This is going to be your role, and I actually didn't let him accept it right away. I said, I don't want you to make an emotional decision. I want you to think about this for 3 or 4 days, because here's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a guy to be a great teammate. I'm looking for a guy to be a great guy on campus. I'm looking for a guy to do great things in the classroom in this role. And I'm looking for you in practice to do whatever we ask you to do. And he has done that to a T. And so, I continue to see that as be his role. That's one thing that I explained to him, that this is going to be your role, and part of having your role is accepting it and fulfilling it, and he's certainly done that.
You can certainly tell by some of the interaction with some of the frontline players.
Oh,
They're
yeah.
really pleased with his opportunity.
He's been awesome, and all those guys have been great. They understand their role, and they accept it, and they fulfill it. But it was clearly defined.
Dustin, when it comes to O'Shawn, I think he's a guy that probably throughout, the time he's played high school, junior college and then coming to App, he's a guy that has handled the ball a lot. And you've got him working a little off the ball more. Talk a little bit about what you see in him that makes you say, hey, you know what? You don't have to think point guard all the time. You can come out here in this particular scheme and be just as effective away from the ball.
Sure, and I think I think part of that is decision making. I think he's a guy that sometimes overanalyzes things, overthinks things a little bit, and so the ball's in his hands. Now he's got to make a play, and I think that he's really one of our best shooters. He's a guy that can really make shots, and so having him off the ball allows him to, I think, play a little bit more free, have a little bit more of a free mind. I think that's something that we've been really working on him about, is just not overthinking, not overanalyzing every little play, and just relaxing and playing. And I think with the ball without in his hands allows him to do that a little bit more.